This is Luiz Faye for the Inclusive Edit, and I am super excited to bring you the first ever Access Live Spotlight podcast. And I am even more excited to introduce the amazing, inspirational, I'm going to just say it, I'm going to get it out there. Go on, you can blush. Ben Lovell. Ben, thank you so much for hosting us here.
No problem.
At Casa Kinsella at the retreat to Tenerife. We met online.
We did, yes.
And all of a sudden, I'm over here and we've got plans for the future.
Yes.
But I just wanted to dig in and talk to you about your journey, because what you've told me and what I've seen whilst I've been out here means screaming from the rooftops.
Thank you.
So I just want you to give me a quick rundown of where we are, what it is, and then we're going to talk about your story.
So at the moment we're in Arona, in the south of Tenerife. We're at a villa called Casa Kinsella that's owned by Daniel Martin, and we got in touch with him and I hold my amp camps here, and from that I've realised that this venue is somewhere we can hold quite a lot of camps, not just disability camps, fitness, well-being, wellness and stuff like that, so I think it's a perfect venue to do this. So yeah, we're in Tenerife. I would like to say it's sunny, but it's actually not. I've tried to out your nice hotel and brought you up here, and it's been cloudy ever since. So, but yeah.
But you know what? There's something really special about that, actually.
Yeah, the seasons.
You're 800 metres above sea level here. Right behind me is an infinity pool.
It is, yeah.
And looking out over that, whether it's raining, pitch
we was in it yesterday.
We were.
And it was freezing.
And it was bloody cold. I'm not going to lie. But no, it's wonderful. You can actually feel the clouds rolling in here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And actually, that's a big part of why you're here. And you've picked this location. It's everything that is you and that's guided you to where you are now, inspiring people of the things that got you back to being Ben.
Yeah. Oh, better than Ben.
Better than Ben. Oh, I like that. There's your title, Better Than Ben. So tell me, how did we end up here?
So 2017, I think it was around June, July, I worked on roads tarmacking, and I had like a cramping feeling in the calf when I walked. As you get in sports or anything like that. I went to my doctors, told me I had sciatica, so I was off work for a month, sciatica again after that month. And then all of a sudden, I think it was around beginning of September, my foot had turned white. I laid on the couch with my feet up, I've got a photo of it, and this one's just grey. So I went into hospital, my wife took me to hospital, and I got rushed. I got blue lighted over to Bradford, and they put like a Doppler on top of my foot to see if they can hear any pulses. And there were no pulses in the top of my foot, which meant there was a blockage somewhere, and it happened to be behind my knee. And from there, I needed to have an MRI scan to check out how bad it were, but we later found out that the hospital had 4 hours to save my leg. And didn't act.
This is the bit that got me, Ben. So you're listening to your body.
Yeah.
You know there's something not right.
Yeah.
And you're in that hospital.
Yeah.
How did that fit? When you know that what they're saying, you're just not comfortable.
At the time, Louise, I didn't actually know, because, like, say, you go into hospital and you're putting your trust in the people that are talking to you. So at the time, everything they were saying to me, I'm just thinking, right, this is just a normal procedure. It's like I'm in here, they're telling me to go home, wait a couple of weeks and come back in for an MRI. It was actually 6 weeks later when I rang them. And I said, look, how long is this MRI going to take? And they're like, well, you better come in. By the time I'd gone in, it was kind of too late, 6 weeks with no blood to my foot. So it was, they kind of performed a bypass on me for 10 hours, which we later found out had no chance of success, but they needed to kind of do this. And then I think it was 3 days, I was laid in hospital, 3 days later, they come round and told me that the bypass hadn't worked. I needed to think about having my leg off for a better way of life or my future. That was 19th of September, so it was 21st of September when they told me it hadn't worked. And because I've got 2 kids, I wanted to try and get through Christmas before I made any decisions about what was going to happen. But I think start of October, I was in quite a lot of pain. So I made a phone call and just asked them if they could take my leg off. And the date was, they were just planned for 29th of November.
So did the kids know that was the plan after Christmas?
Or was
it just yourself and
Laura? I don't think we actually told the kids at that time. I didn't want that to be on their eggs at Christmas. Yeah. And stuff like that. It was something that I really wanted to get through with Christmas, but it just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. I had to make that decision and have that leg off.
that in itself it makes you just stop, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really does. Now, I've met your family.
Yeah.
They're out here. Laura is an absolute queen. She
Yes.
is incredible. She's amazing. She really is. But it's not just that, it's the partnership that you've got and the kids. They're out here in Spain. They are so resilient and lovely kids. Met
Thank
them.
you.
Oh God, are we going to do this? Oh my God, we've not done this since I've been here. Duh. So that must, aside from, we're going to talk about what it did to you, for you mentally and all of those things, but that moment when you've said to the kids, Twinkle Midas, stuff's going to change next week.
I don't like it. Do you know what? I don't even think it kind of, I'm trying to put myself back. It's like it's coming up to 8 years now. In November, it'll be 8 years. And I can't actually remember having that kind of conversation with her. At the time, I think Midas was 4 and Twinkle was 7. So Midas were kind of too young to really understand what was going on anyway. Twinkle, it were kind of just, you know, she'd seen me in hospital having bypassing me. Even me, it kind of went over my head. I'm having my leg off. It was like, I didn't really want to sit and think about it, if that made sense. Because the more I thought about it, the more depressed I was getting, the more life seemed like it was just beating me down. So it was just, look, this is happening. We deal with it on 29th of November, and up until then, I just tried to do what I could with the kids, because I knew that it was going to be a long road after. I didn't realise how long it was going to take me, and how bad it was going to get after I had my leg off. To be honest with you, I thought it'd be a bit of a breeze, but it didn't turn out that way.
So, 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first, we talked just briefly before we go on to the recovery side of things. You found out that you had 4 hours to save your leg that day that you went into hospital.
Yeah.
How long into the process did you find out that would have been the case?
Months. It wasn't until, I think it was, I don't know if someone had mentioned to me about, look, go and see a solicitor and see if what they've done's right and the way they've treated is right.
And I think maybe the reason I'm so intrigued by this side of things is because misdiagnosis and medical failings has been a part of my journey.
Okay.
So I know how I felt and coped with it and dealt with it. And I know so many people within Chronic Warriors, Inclusive Edit and AMCAM that now follow us and you know, that community who've had that similar sort of experience. So for grieving that in itself, this is why I want to come before I go on to grieving the leg. Grieving that failing, how did you cope with that?
I didn't realise. So this, like I said, I'd had my leg off on it, probably about 6 months after. So I was already grieving the leg and grieving the loss and going through this life-changing thing. And I started to kind of accept what was going on. And then when I found out it was somebody else's fault, I'm Googling him, I'm trying to find out who it was and stuff like that. And I got a bit obsessed with it, and I just thought, you know what, it is what it is, it's happened. So the only way to move on from it is accept it. You know, the more that I'm beating myself up about it, I'm never going to move on from it.
The energy that you spend beating yourself up.
Can be put to something positive.
Absolutely. So now we wake up after our surgery.
Yep.
And now a new life starts.
So waking up after it's weird. It was like a bit of a dream. You know, I looked down and the bedding's different. There weren't 2 lumps there where the legs should be. To be fair, I'd had an epidural, so pain. I wasn't in any pain. It was very strange. And it was kind of, I was just like, I was in a bit of a daze and for a few weeks, it was like, is this really happening? And, you know, I'm looking around at other people in hospital, and everyone seemed to be a lot older than I was. I was only 39 at the time. And everyone in this hospital had 4 guys in a room. They're all in their 60s. And you know, it's the unknown. I spoke to you about it. When something's the unknown and you put it into your own head, you never put good scenarios into your head. It's always the worst case scenario, and you're always thinking about bad things. And that's what it was like. You know, I laid in that bed, and it's quite quick as well. You know, I thought I'd be in hospital for quite a while. You kind of have your leg off, and within 2 days, you're going down to physio.
Wow.
And what they want to do, they want to get you to be able to transfer from your bed onto a wheelchair.
It's a functional thing.
Yes, on the banana boards. Then they take you into the toilet, so that you can get onto a toilet. Then you have to walk down the upper flight of stairs, and down the flight of stairs on crutches, then it's home. So I was home in 8 days. When I was in hospital, quite easy in the sense that I couldn't go to a toilet. I had a colostomy bag in, I had all that in, so I didn't have to move out of my bed. Obviously, meals are getting made, nurses are coming in and washing me and stuff like that. And it's not until you actually get home where you actually realise, look, my life's changed. Like, I can't get up now to go to the toilet. I remember going into the kitchen to make a cup of tea in my crutches, and I spoke to you about it.
You were just saying this.
So I've gone in on my crutches, Laura's gone to work. I'll make a brew, made the brew, Right.
Right,
How do I get
now?
this into a room? And I broke down that day. That was a big kick in. That hit me quite hard.
Do you know, I remember having a thermos flask on the next
Right,
strap.
you find ways.
And I used to make a coffee for the day.
So it's weird because Laura, so what we did after that, we got one of them big ones where you pump top of it, and she'd make it, and I just had that in Wilmore. Laura's grandma would come up. But yeah, it's the getting home. I think the getting home from hospital and then realising, you know, there was stuff, parties going on with the kids that I couldn't attend, or I probably could have attended, but I didn't. I weren't in the right frame of mind. I've gone from having a good job, 1,500 quid a week, everything in life was good.
And a very physical job,
yeah, good. And then, you know, when you go out and I felt like I'd done a day's work, and all of a sudden, all this had been taken away from me. And I just, I didn't take well to it. I didn't want to live, to be honest with you.
And that's why it is so inspiring, because for me, hitting that punch bag that first day saved my life.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. What was the day that saved yours?
So I can remember, so very honestly, I can't pinpoint a day. I'm going, if I think back, it probably took me 8 to 12 months to kind of get my head around and wrap around all this. I start, after about 5 months, I started documenting it. I went on social media to look for amputees, and every amputee that I was looking at on social media were posting all these stuff of them running and doing stuff, which is great. It's fine. But I didn't feel like doing that, and I didn't feel like I could do it. So I wanted to do I started doing videos of myself crying. You know, I told you that I went out one week and did a photo shoot a week after I couldn't leave my house. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me, kind of thing? And it's like, I wanted to show a different side to this year. And I want to show people it is all right to feel down and feel that way. And I mean, I was suicidal through this. But things turned and things changed for me. I kind of just, I must say I woke up one day and just felt like, that's it. I think it was a bit of a gradual thing of me accepting what had happened.
We sort of said, we were chatting in the car the other day about, you come to a point, and I've heard this so many times, not just personal experiences, but you wake up and you say, right, I'm either going to have a really long, miserable life and I'm going to lay down and stop, or today, there is that subconscious, you don't have the conversation with yourself, but it's a chemical reaction almost, and you just start to eke out a little bit.
If you wake up every day and say you're going to have a shit day or a bad day,
you do have one.
I'm going to have one, because everything that happens, you're like, I knew that was going to happen. But if you wake up and, you know, there's two reactions to everything that happens in life. You've two choices. You know, you can either be sad and miserable about it, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but at some point, you're living that life, and at some point you need to weigh up. Look, is it beneficial to me to feel like this every day, or is it about time I pull my pants up and just get on with it and try and live a life worth living?
Right. So, fast forward now to the positive stuff.
Right.
You have done the most incredible challenges, Ben. Over 20.
So I started doing it in 2000. The first challenge I ever did was on April 1st, 2021, because April's Win Loss Awareness Month, so that's why I did it on that time.
Right, okay. So how did that first challenge come about?
So we've got the camps going on, with adult camps, which we'll get to.
Absolutely. So the camps came first. The adult camps came just after lockdown. Right. Let's tell you what then. Let's do it in order. Right, okay. Let's do it in order, because obviously this has inspired you into what you. Yeah. Okay. So
first of all, I think once I started picking myself up, and I realised if someone had come into my hospital room that had got through everything and was a positive amputee, if they'd have come in, because I'm laid in a bed not knowing what life's like. And if someone had been able to come to my hospital room bouncing about, happy that the fact that they lost a leg and telling me everything's going to be all right, I'd have felt better. So that's what I did. I messaged hospitals, can I come in, can I speak to amputees? Yes. And then because of the following that I built up on social media, I used to have like mothers ringing me, husbands, wives, saying my wife's going to be amputated, my son's going to be amputated, can you come to his house? So I just started going all around the UK, visiting people in their houses, and hopefully just, you know, giving them that little bit of hope that it's going to be all right. And then from that, I want to do something. I told you about the coffee mornings. Yeah. And without sounding disrespectful to anybody, because coffee mornings are great if that's what you want. For me, it was like, I was listening to a lot of people talk how bad it was, and it was actually detrimental to me personally. It's like a pity party, doesn't it? Because it's like, oh, it's so hard. We know it's so hard, but the more you talk like that, the more you're putting that in your head. The language you use is the language you believe. 100%. I'm a big believer in that. Yes, me too. Absolutely. So from there, like I said, I got in touch with a company out here that were running like fitness retreats. In fact, they got in contact with me and said, "Do you want to promote our fitness retreats?" I'm like, "Well, I'm an amputee. It's all able-bodied people." I went, "Instead of doing that, why don't we do one for? Why don't you work with me and we'll do one for amputees?" So that was like a light bulb moment. So they're like, "Yeah, go on, let's give it a go." So 15th of June 2021, I had my first one. It was just after lockdown, so only 6 people could come over. You had to have all the tests, only, I had to have the vaccines.
You don't do things by half,
No.
do you?
So we had that, and you know what? I think it myself only 6. It can't be. And the week went so much better than what I thought. Watching people come over that were depressed and giving up, and we have doing all these fitness side of stuff, and from that, I think June I had it. I had one in September, I had one in October, I had one in November, and we've done about 25 camps now.
Wow.
So yeah.
And when you think of the small pool of people who experience limb loss,
yeah,
to be able to reach that many people, and we talked about changing people's lives. We don't like saving people's lives, all that, but you've changed people's lifestyles. Completely.
Yeah,
completely.
100%. Tell
us, what is AmpCamp?
So, it depends how you want to look at it. Some people call it a fitness boot camp. Some people say it's a wellness retreat. I think it's a mixture of everything. I think that the reason it works for me is because unless you're an amputee, you don't get what it's like to live like an amputee. My wife gets it to an extent, but if you've got a group of amputees around each other, some are on different, they're all on different stages of this journey. So you might have someone that's new, someone that's not depressed anymore, accepted it, but come out to still push yourselves and try new things. This person here that's new will look at that person and think, that's okay, so they used to be like me, well, now I can get to this. And I think that's what it's about. It's about like a community, like I say, a community of people that have come, and we all push each other. So they come out here. They'll come out here for a week. I have PTs. I've just passed my own PT course, so I'm doing myself now. That was something I wanted to do. I have a PT that comes in, but she was able-bodied, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think for me and for my camps, I want to be the one personal trainer. I want to do it as in, like, I'll adjust this because you've got this kind of amputation, so I know what it's like and I can adjust that.
It's lived experience, isn't it? And you go back to that moment when you were sat in the hospital bed and you looked around and it was people that were slightly older than you didn't feel like you fitted into a community, you couldn't see anyone that you related to. When you've got somebody like yourself stood in front of you, a confident, competent amputee delivering this stuff, it captures the imagination, doesn't it? You can relate to it, and you see it's possible. Yes.
So some people will say that some people didn't have the struggles, and I'm one of them that I'm grateful for them struggles. I'm grateful that I was depressed. I'm grateful that I didn't want to live. I'm grateful that I got through it all, because now I'm in a position to not only talk to positive amputees, but ones that aren't positive. I can show them. I'm living proof that you can't be like that. But if you work hard enough and push yourself and do all these things, you can actually get to a better... My life's a lot better now than it ever was with Tully. So.
You have not stopped smiling, honestly.
For 8 years since I lost my leg.
But again, we're like... And you wouldn't change it for the world.
No. I said that to you the other day. If someone came to me now and went, "Do you want your legs back?" I'd be like, "No, keep them." I'm happy, I'm more confident, I've more empathy for people as well. I think that until you go through... We were about the gym today, when I had 2 legs and you just have to go to work, you don't even think that you're walking or how good it is to be able to walk, because that's what you're meant to do.
Yes.
So for all them years, 39 years, I've walked, and I'm not even, I'm walking, it's not even a thing. But when that's taken away from you, then you realise that walking, it was something to be grateful for. So yeah, it's...
I was in the gym with you yesterday, which was loads and loads of fun. Because usually it's me doing things my way, in my wheelchair, in my comfort zone, all of those things. But actually you pushed me yesterday into a place that I'd not been for many, many years. Using my left leg. Using my body unit, absolutely getting rid of the chair and going, well, do this on the floor or do this stood up. She's an emotional wreck, she's pathetic. But what that did for me is remind me of the little strengths that I had, that I'd probably gone, do you know what, it's easier, just do it now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was in pain, but we said it again last night, didn't we? We'll live off the memories. So you inspired me yesterday in ways that I didn't think were possible.
Okay.
So I see the reviews and the blogs and stuff that people write from experiences of being out in a camp. Give me a couple of those little messages that you get where you didn't realise at the time that you'd done that for them, but afterwards.
I go back to one of the early ones, and we had a lady called Nadine. She's an above-knee amputee. She had a leg, but she was scared. A lot of amputees are scared to use stuff. You've got to be able to put confidence in your leg. You've got to be confident to wear it, because a lot of them are the mentally thing of what, well, I'll fall over.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Okay, you fall over, you get back up. But she came in a wheelchair. She had a leg in a bag. She's in this wheelchair for the first couple of days. So she sat down and had a meal. So I hid the wheelchair. I took it off with my idiot, and I put a leg there. Put your leg on. She's like, I cannot walk in it. You put your leg on. I said, you're never going to walk in it unless you put it on. So she'd had a meal. I made her put a leg on, and she wanted to go sit in the seat now. So I just held her hand. She walked across the grass. During the week, we had her doing stuff. She was doing bits of fitness. We went down to Port Cologne, and she went in the shop for a can of Coke, and she walked in and come out crying her eyes out. And I'm like, someone said to her, and she's like, no, I've just gone into a shop to buy a can of Coke. I've walked in, and I'm like, right, okay, that's a positive then. Anyway, she went home, and I think for 3 years she'd not took her kids to the park or done anything with the kid children, and she'd sent me a video at the park with the kids, and she went, that's what it's done for me. So that's like, you know, as I said to you, there's.
But I bet you remember the day you went to park for the first time as an amputee.
Yeah, of course. But this,
so you can
for her, it like 3 years in that she'd not done this.
Yeah.
So like massive. So that was one. I had a guy called Mohammed, so I had a camp on for a load of Norwegian amputees. And the guy called Mohammed, he'd come in, he was a double amputee, had been in his wheelchair most of his life, I think. But because in Norway, we were saying his physio don't push him to get out of his wheelchair. So I'm like, look, have you ever walked? He's like, nah. So I'm like, go get your wheelchair, bring it over to the grass, come over. So I've got videos. He's in the wheelchair, and I'm like, that up. So I lifted him up, pushed his wheelchair out that way, and I think he walked maybe 40 metres. So at first I had hold of his hands and then let go. So there were one behind, one in front, steady. And I've never seen anyone smile as much. Like he's just walking, he's just got this big beaming smile. And then back in his chair. But it's stuff like that. And until you're going to be pushed to do something or told you can do something, then you're probably not going to do it. Which is what I mean about everyone being here. When there's someone thinking they can't do it, but then they're seeing 5 other amputees going, I take them indoor rock climbing, and they're doing it on one leg and stuff like that. And then there's one that's not like, and they're looking like, and then you'll see them, can I have a go? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. And then they're up on this wall, and they come down, like, I can't believe I've done that.
Well, we're in the middle of the mountains, and I've seen videos and stuff. You take them up on hikes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's incredible. This isn't just about teaching them to walk
upstairs.
No.
So the hiking one, we've got Red Rock by the airport. It's about 200 metres out. That's a good one, and that's always at the end of the week, because I think you need to be a team, you need to know each other, you need to be like a bit of a family by then. Not everyone at the end of the week will be able to do that. And you've got to be careful on these as well. I can only work with what they've got and how far they can push themselves. So just because someone doesn't do that mountain doesn't mean they haven't done what they needed to do. It's just that I've got to assess they can get up and get back down.
Yes.
So some of them have been wrong as well, thinking they're not going to be able to do it. And they've got there and they've absolutely blown it out at one. And I'm like, wow. But a lot of them as well, when they've come and they've done that little one, I've seen them go back to England and they've done Ben Nevis and they've done this and that. So yeah, it's stuff like that, you know, just giving them confidence, taking them down to natural rock pools and letting them get back in sea and swim and stuff like that. Just giving them all these little firsts that they probably would not be able to do. Well, not probably, they can't do anywhere else. I honestly think there's nothing like this camp in the world.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
We've also got
unique.
We've got the countenance. So as much as we've got that as well, I'm very. The one thing I struggled with when I was trying to come through my hard times was the fact I was going to talk to counsellors that had all the limbs intact. and they're like telling me, oh, you're doing that really good, or, you know, you don't need to feel like that. And I'm like, well, how do you know? It don't make any sense you telling me this. So my counsellor at my camp, she's called Debbie McQuarrie. She's a multi-awarded, and she's got an arm and a leg difference. So she wears a prosthetic, and she's got a little arm. I call her ET because she's got a little finger. But that's just a private joke between me and her. But she comes out.
But that's important. Sorry to interrupt you. That is so important.
Yeah.
You've got. I
Really
always
laugh.
say my sense of humour came through with my wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, you have the
If you
darkest.
don't laugh about it, you're going to cry about it, man. That's it.
So anything that when we say these things are 100% meant in
Yeah, of
absolute
course.
jest.
I think
It's what keeps you going.
Do you know what? I think it's different as well. I think like me and Deb's doing it. It's different. If it was someone else outside of that circle, Ben with a public calendar, it's
different.
taking it in a different way.
We were talking about the Eddie Gray suite at Ellen's Road.
Right, yeah, we were.
Big up Leeds United.
Yeah.
It's one of the most hilarious, safe spaces that I ever get to go in because it's one of those places. Everyone's got a difference.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a challenge, and there's nobody mainstream in there, so you can literally get away with
it. And I think a lot of people that say it to you, it's like they know they can get away with saying it as well because it's like you say. I think when amputees do it, or like for young people in a wheelchair, say it's taken different when it's from someone that knows how you win.
Yeah, it's so true. So. Like as I just mentioned there, you know, if they get to that point and they can get to do a little bit of a mountain hike out here, you absolutely will do them. Now, that's not just by default.
No.
Because you like a hill.
I do, yeah. Strangely enough.
Talk to me.
So I say first of all, we've gone on to these adults camps and it were like I'd seen a massive impact it can have on adults coming on these camps, and I might start thinking about it's with kids as well. So let's do one for children, but not physical, not like the having physios and PTs and all that. I wanted to bring them out and give them a bit of a childhood back. A lot of these children are going to schools, probably don't know any other amputees until they go to a limb centre and stuff like that. So back to us, look, let's do something similar, but for kids. We'll bring 5 families out. Siblings included, mom, dad, brother, sister. They come out to Tenerife, we pay for it all. I didn't want it to cost anything to these families. I think they've been through enough. These children have probably gone through more than any adult will ever do with hospital visits, cancer, meningitis, all that. We've had them all.
See, that's the other side of this as well. I mean, I'm going to talk about Manjaro in a minute, but it might be that you've lost your limb through an illness that you've already had to navigate.
On
so top of that, like just mentioned the cancer or diabetes is often quite common situation. Sorry,
massive. No, it's massive for amputees. Diabetes. I say 80% of them are diabetic. So anyway, we watched all this camp for children. So I'm like, I need to do something to raise money. So I've got a blocked fibrillation to my stomach. You've seen me this week. I've got to take my leg off every 10 minutes.
Oh, he's around his head most of the time.
Yeah. So I'm like, look, what's one of the worst chat? Probably climbing a mountain. So I've never ever walked anywhere with 2 legs. I drove everywhere. So I'm like, look, Laura, Saturday, I think it was Wednesday, it's Saturday, first of April, we're packing a bag, we're going up to Elbellen, so it's the furthest mountain in England. So like, what? I'm like, yeah, come on, we'll just go and see what it's like. So we set off, and I had no idea what we're in for. Like, I've got my trainers on, not really set out for it. And we'd set off, and I got completely lost. And I'm like to Laura, come on, we'll just go up this hill up here. I've got videos I'll show when this is finished. So we'll go up this hill. Anyway, this hill, what looked like that, when I actually got to it, was like this. And it was the side of the mountain. When we got to the top, everyone's like, you haven't just come up there with you. I'm like, yeah. So I'm crawling, pulling grass and crawling up. Laura's crying, shouting at me, like, we nearly had a divorce. But the feeling that I got, I've got videos where I'm like, I can't do. The feeling I had when I got to the top was something I went on to chase then. It was like, I've just proven to myself what I can actually do if I put my mind to it. So I'd done Elbellen up first. By the end of April, I'd done Scarfield and Scarfield Pike, which were number 2 and number 1. So I'd done 3 mountains in a month.
I've done those able-bodied, young.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time up there, and they are a challenge for a fit able-bodied person.
Even if you go to gym, you're using completely different muscles climbing the mountain. And I've said to you, for me, it's not. I've never ever trained for anything that I've done. I've never done any training. I just take rock up, and this is what I'm going to do. So I said to you, I'm not physically fit. When we trained yesterday, I'm like, and I'm sweating. But I didn't say to you, it's this. I'm strong here. I'm mentally strong because of everything that I've had to go through. So we've done these mountains, and I think I did my 13 grand after about 4 mountains. So I just kept the GoFund open, carried it on. I've gone to in Halifax. We've got a reservoir. 1.6 miles round it, so I'm going to do it 10 laps with my leg off. So I just went down, big group of people, and I just stopped around this 10 laps of this reservoir, jumped out of an airplane at 15,000 feet.
No, thank you.
I did the fan dance, it's an SAS route in Wales.
Right.
And actual soldiers have died doing this fan dance. I did it by accident. I went to do Penny Fan, and I got to top Penny Fan in about 45 minutes, an hour, and I thought, I drove up way to Wales for an hour. So I said, some group couldn't do it, so some went back, and there were about 10 of us. I went, so we're going to do one more. So I've done that, and that was that. I said, so there must be another one we can get to from it. Anyway, we've done 5, and it was like a 16-hour day, and that was probably one of the hardest things I'd done up to that point. And then we went snowdoing. I've done snowdoing twice. Did it with my prosthetic on, did it with my prosthetic off.
What's the difference?
Well, when I've got my prosthetic on, I'm still using crutches, so I've got the benefit of having 2 legs as such.
Yes.
Which is a lot easier. When I'm doing it on one leg, it's literally this is taking it. It's all up above. It's a lot harder. Physically, it's a lot harder, and mentally, in the sense of like. So I can walk. Every time I do a mountain with my prosthetic on or without it, I use crutches. I've got to use crutches. Yeah. Because like I say, otherwise I'll be stopping every 5 minutes. If I use crutches, I can get to about 20 minutes and then take the leg off. It just gives me a bit more. It's a lot easier with the leg on, but then
you don't want easy.
I don't want it easy. No, I want it to be as hard as I can. So we've done all these, like I said, we've done all these mountains, and in August I've just done for me, my pinnacle of what I set out to do. Last year, I said to you, this leg's coming off probably in 2 or 3 years. I've had 5 bypasses on it. Bypasses don't last forever. So I've done 12 months of not knowing what I could do. I didn't want to push myself. I'm going to the gym, but not really pushing myself in a walking sense, which I love walking for my head.
God, especially out here.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Oh my God.
So I had a friend called Paul Ellis. He's a double amputee. I was telling you about the story yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
So this guy's come along to me. He's reached out to me when I was going to do one of Yorkshire Free Peaks, asked if he could join. Said, yeah, he went in the right good space. Said, yeah, he's been by my side ever since, kind of thing, and supports what we do with kids camp.
It's 4 years.
Yeah, so he sets himself some. I thought I did mad challenges like this guy. This guy sets himself some mad stuff. So he's double amputee, 60-year-old. He went down to Snowdon and crawled from the bottom to summit on his hands and knees. And I think he raised his fund that he just went through Rufus funding. From then he went to Scarfell and climbed, crawled up Ben Nevis, crawled up Mount Tady out here in Tenerife. Anyway, because he'd done that, there was Osprey, I think it is. He was running a competition on Instagram. Send all your achievements in, and it was for a voucher for $7,500. So Paul sent his achievements in, and he won the competition. So he rang me up. He's like, Ben, I've got this voucher for $7,500. Do you want to come and do Kilimanjaro? So I'm like, yeah, come on then, let's do it. Let's do it. It could be my last. That was in my head. It was like, this could be the last challenge I'm doing. Something happens on this. It's a big old test for my leg. And I thought, do you know what? If it's going to go, it's going to go on Kilimanjaro. That'd be a bit of a story.
Now, you said to me yesterday, you like slip and die.
Slip and die stuff, yeah. I like to be.
I think this is the pinnacle of slip and die.
So walking's fine. I mean, I told you I got Laura Tail driving up to North Airport in Tenerife. It's maybe an hour and a half in the car. It's about 170 kilometres.
Don't try this at home.
So she took me up. I packed a bag. I had a lady flew out, Debbie, my counsellor. She flew out, but she didn't know until she landed what I had planned for her. So day after, I'm like, Debbie, bring some hiking gear out. So we packed his bags, drove up to the airport, said to Laura, go on off, I'll see you in 5 days. So me and Debbie walked all the way back from the north to the south. Which were brilliant, but it's on roads, and there's no excitement for me walking on roads. I want to be outside the mountain looking down, and I want my heart to be beating. Like I said, I didn't do any of this before I lost my leg. But it explains why, because I got told that I couldn't, and for me, the bigger the challenge just proves that I'm pushing myself to. There's going to be a time when I cannot do this.
Yes.
You know, I'm in the gym, and when I'm in the gym and I don't have my leg on and I'm jumping
don't
about.
Don't disappear off my
camera. Sorry. When I'm in the gym,
to see your beautiful face there.
When I'm in the gym and I'm jumping about, and I put it on social, people, what's happening, Ben? What's happening? You know, you're going to be right. Okay, I understand what you're saying,
but you're living that from an outside perspective.
When I come out of this gym, I could get knocked over. Right. I could stop doing everything I'm doing because I think, when I'm older, I'll keep this leg. And when I'm older, I could have arthritis, and I could look back and think, well, all the opportunities I had to do this, I've now not got them opportunities. So I want to do what I can do now, and whatever comes later on in life, I'll deal with when I need to deal with it.
you're preaching to the converted because, and I think this is why, aside from the fact that we're both from Yorkshire, I think but it's very much that same, like, tell me I can't do it.
And watch me. Same as when we were younger, your parents used to tell you not to do something. You're like, what, whether you were having a crafty fag somewhere or something like that. Whenever you get told not to, you want to do it. But I think even more so when it's a disability kind of thing, you want to prove to yourself. I want to prove to other people as well. It's not like I said, the bad start that I had. If I can show someone, you can climb a mountain. I've got other problems. It's not just the fact I've got a prosthetic and I've got problems with my arteries and I've got this and that. But I think if your mind's strong enough, you can get through anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you told Laura, slip and die Kilimanjaro, what was her response?
I'm not coming. She hates mountains. She's been on a few. I can remember going up Taylor. So I went up Taylor. I said, I've done Taylor. I was first amputee to ever do Taylor.
Wow.
And I thought, you know what, I've done it. What so I'm like, right, I'm going to do it on one leg. I'm going back, I'm going to do it on one leg now. This is when I rang Paul. I'm like, Paul's friend's coming out and crawling now. You're on your knees with me. He's like, yeah, go on then. So we set off, and I remember going up, we go through the night because it's cooler. And the idea was to go through the night, get up there, get to cable car station, come back down up cable car. And I think I was about 200 metres off top and I'd rolled my ankle. So I had to wait for mountain. They sent an helicopter to come and get that. And then as they were dropping the hoist to pick me up, they had to call out at sea. So all of a sudden this helicopter vanished. I'm like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And a load of firemen come running down this volcano and they're like, you're going to have to walk back down with us. But because it was during the day, we come back on the same path. And one of the parts of the path was just a straight drop. But Laura got halfway on and she sat down and froze and she was crying because she doesn't like, I love the views, I love the scary part, she doesn't. So I think after that, it's like, I don't think I'll get well up another mountain, to be honest with you. But that's not a bad thing because we fall out when she's up a mountain.
But she was there for you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Tell me about the time when you phoned her and I'm Kilimanjaro and you just thought, this is me.
So Kilimanjaro, it's obviously, like I say, I've done Ben Nevis. Kilimanjaro's 4.5 Ben Nevises.
Wow.
And I found that Ben Nevis was hard, like I said, it's mentally hard. Again, I've just rocked up I've just gone to Africa, got in a plane, no training. So we rocked up. You've got like a 4-day hike to get to the base camp, and I think depending on the route, because you've got altitude as well. Yeah, you've got to get used to. So you might do 5 miles a day, but it's a terrain. And I think on base camp day, it's a 9-hour hike to get to base camp. We got to base camp at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You have something to eat, and at 11 o'clock at night, you're setting off on a 15-hour trek up to the top. Right. So you've no time, it's not about resting, you've got no real time, it's through the night and you zigzag up Kilimanjaro and I'm getting further up there. My breath, I couldn't breathe and I'm stopping and stopping. Now Paul, being like I told you, Paul double amputee, 60-year-old, he doesn't have what I have, he doesn't have that leg. And every time I had a bulge, I put my good leg on and push up. So I think he got maybe a third of the way up, maybe a bit more, and his legs had done, and that ring were done. But he's 6-year-old, he'd done amazing to get there. I had another amputee that flown over from America. He'd been on my camp, and I'm like, got on with him. I went, fancy doing Kilimanjaro. So he actually paid for himself and flew out and met me. Now I remember going up, and he's like looking at me. He's like, this altitude's bad, isn't it? I'm like, yeah. I set off going, and he was getting slower and slower, and then he started coughing up blood.
Oh my God.
So when it's like that, you don't have a choice of whether you're going to give up or carry on. They call it, the guides call it, so it's like that, you're coming off. And I think once them two had come off, it was actually mentally harder for me, because I'm like, look, they're off, so you can now stop and go back and nobody will think of you, you have quit, you have to give up. But I also knew that we're going on BBC Look North when I got home. So I didn't want to come back down and go on BBC and Look North and say I didn't make it. And I remember it got 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I rang Laura. You get, every now and again when you walk, your phone would beep because you pick up a bit of a signal. Right. And then it'd go off. And it beeped, so I thought, I've got a bit of signal. I was done. My body had done, my head had gone. And I rang Laura up, I was crying my eyes out down. I'm like, look, Laura, I feel like I can let a lot of people down, but I just cannot do it. I can't carry on. It's like, look, there's a lot of people, look, you felt like this before and other stuff. There's a lot of people like looking up to you. Just try and get your head around it. Have a 5 minutes to talk to yourself, get your head around it. So I'm like, all right then. So I set off, did maybe another 50 metres, said to guide, and that's it. I'm off. I can't do it. It's like, come on, try. So it might be another 20 metres. And I'm like, no, that's it now. He went, look up there. I looked up and could see this little light, and that's the top. And about 200 metres away.
Don't look at the light.
So I'm like, right. But that kind of, I had it in me, that's 200 metres. That 200 metres actually took me maybe about 3 hours till doing 20 metres and sitting down. But when I got to the top, I just burst out like I couldn't believe that I'd done this. I'd got to the top of this highest mountain in the world, highest freestanding mountain in the world. I call it the rooftop of Africa, and I'm looking out, and my mum passed away. Mum passed away quite suddenly in, I think it was 2022. She's very sudden. And son's keen, and every time I climb a mountain, I feel like I'm close to her. And this one was very special because I've never been up this side before, so it like
Never been as close.
Yeah, I did a bit of a video saying to everyone I've done it, I've got here. Just gonna check myself off, and I had a little speaker and I play key. Had a little listen to my mum's song. My best mate died of cancer. His was Rocket Man. So I played 2 songs, and I'm like, hey, come on, let's get off. The guide says to me, well, there's 3 points on this, Ben. He went, this is the lowest one. I went, what do you mean? He went, well, there's another one. He went, you have actually got your certificate, but there's 2 more out your point. I went, well, how far away? Well, he says, one's about an hour and a half, the one's going to be another hour and a half, so it's another 3 hours. I'm there thinking, hey, come on, we're off. And I'm like, I can't actually turn around now because I'll beat myself up.
Now I know that he's there.
So so I carried on, did don't know how I got through it, but I did, got back down. And once you got back down, I still had a 9-mile walk to the next camp.
So I was just kind of like, so the challenge doesn't stop there. It's not like you come up and flies in, picks you up and off to a 5-star hotel.
I mean, the hardest thing for me is, and I'm particularly, don't forget, I've put my body through everything getting up there. The hardest thing for me on any mountain is coming down, because in your prosthetic you've got no bends in your ankle. So when you're putting your foot down, it's like that, and if it tips, it's pushing on my knee, it's pushing on different areas. Coming down is really, really hard. And I had to.
And there's no incentive there.
No, because
you've done it.
That's the hardest thing.
I was going to say, so mentally, the thing that's getting you up there
is the top, the summit.
Yeah.
Coming back down, there's nothing. I just want to be down. Everything's gone, and you feel drained. So anyway, I got down. I'm like, they make you something to eat. So I took my leg off, and it just went. And I'm like, I tried to force it back on for this 9-mile walk, and I'm like, look, I cannot physically get it on. My body had done me. I mean, I was physically gone. So they stretched me 9 miles and got me to the next camp, and then they brought a vehicle in to get me off because I just couldn't. I wish I could have walked it, but there was just no. I can't do it with my leg off. Like I said, my body, everything had gone.
These are things that I think people don't think about, do they? You know, yes, you've got you're missing a limb, but the rest of it that's there has its own challenges,
of course,
and pressure and altitude and all of those things. The amount of blood that's going through the bits that can get blood to it, it's swelling, it's shrinking, it's sweating.
It's all compensating as well.
Yeah, so everything's heightened, isn't it?
Your back, you brought me back. You were asking me yesterday, so you've got your bags on with your kitting. There is Sherpas there carrying most of your kit, but you still got, I think, about 15 kilograms on your back, so you're leaning forward, and because I'm walking on a prosthetic, I kind of walk, not with a limp, I can walk without the limp, but you overcompensate. So when you climb the mountains, it's like I've done them back in England, and everyone's like, wow, okay, I'm doing that. But they don't see you for the 2 days afterward. I said to you, I did one the other day.
Yes.
And I messaged you, and I'm like, look, I can't come down. I'm having 2 hours soaking bath. Because if I don't, I won't be able to walk tomorrow. You get like yourself when you explain to the wrong person, then I understand. But there's a lot of people out there that don't see amputees doing stuff, don't see people like self doing stuff, but they don't see the effects of doing that.
Do you know what? It's a really, really good point, because we said it yesterday. I said I won't be able to hold a cup of tea at the end of the day because I'd used my hands yesterday, and you was literally 2 hours in the hottest temperature water that you could possibly, just to be able to take the kids to school the next morning. but we live off the memories.
Yeah, of
And
course.
this is what we really wanted to get out to people, isn't it? Whether it's Kilimanjaro, that's your gold medal for the day, or whether that is getting out to your local shop or taking your own children to school and that being your gold medal for the day, you can live off the memory.
Of course.
If you don't do it,
anything,
you've sat down, you're still in pain, you still feel down, all of those things are exacerbated and you've not got the memories.
So
what's your words?
You're saying that, it's like I said, I've explained to you, so some of these amputee groups, and like I say, I don't knock anyone for struggling and feeling sorry, but I do, it does annoy me when they message me and they'll be like, look, life's a bit shit, life's, it's not very good at the moment, and I'm okay, I'm all like, okay, so that was yesterday, what have you done today that's any different from yesterday? Well, nothing. Well, all right then, so how are you going to feel any different? And I said to you about the groups. I've been kicked out of amputee groups. I get called toxic. I get maybe 50 messages a day saying you shouldn't do what you're doing. You shouldn't promote it like that because not everyone can do that. That's not my because it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. And I don't feel like I've gone through all this thing to get to where I am now. And I don't feel like just because someone's took offence, I can't control how someone takes my post on social media. That's nothing to do with me. And if you're taking it in a certain way, that says more about you and how you're feeling, where you are in your life. But I don't feel like I should diminish what I'm doing or put up my positive. If I piss one person, I'm sorry for swearing, but if I annoy one person through being positive, but I inspire two people by being positive, that person doesn't really come into my life. I've got with no disrespect, I don't feel about them people. I'm more interested in the people that are inspiring, that want to get off the backside and go and do something about it, not the ones that are complaining about it.
So, if somebody been sat watching this, who has gone through that first year of struggling and not being able to cope and that whole transition process, and there's just one little glint in their eye from what you've been saying today, what would you say to them about
AMP camp? AMP camp's amazing. I mean, it's hard. I did say to you yesterday, one thing I find out, I know what AMP camp is and how good it is. The one thing I do, I find it hard saying it, if that makes sense.
You've got to see it.
So, if I'm being completely honest, AMP camp's a one-of-a-kind camp. There's nothing like it in Wales. And what we do here in 7 days, nobody else does anyway. I said to you the other day, when I lost my leg, the transition from losing your leg to actually getting to being all right is a long way, because you're waiting months and months to see counsellors. You wait months and months to do this. We've got all this inside. We've got all this on site, and it can be the results we get in 7 days will take 12 months back in England or in your own town or anything else, because you're not getting pushed to do stuff. We get told
in a safe space.
Yeah, of course.
And that's this is within a comfort zone that you are able to push people safely a little bit beyond. Nobody's ever going to ask you or tell you to do anything that you don't.
No, of course. I'm not going to do that, but I'm also. If people come and they're like, oh, I don't, I'm going to tell them you can do it.
Yes.
And just give it a go. If it doesn't work, or if it comes. So, like we were talking to you about how you adapt your workouts. If people come here and we have an older amputee that might not be able to stand, then we'll bring a chair in and we'll do the battle rope sat down. Or everything's adapted to what you can do and how you work. But what we will do, we will push you more than what you think you can do. The villa, we know, you've done a post. The villa's got a lot of steps. I've had a lot of villas in Tenerife that we've used. One on a flat level, and I'm like, that's cool, but you know what? A lot of these amputees that are coming out are going back home
to a house
to set. So how's that beneficial to them?
And all they've done is exist downstairs.
Yeah,
and that's how it feels, doesn't it?
Because they're scared of the steps.
Yes.
So come out here, and we've had, I've had amputees. The bad thing about it is coming out here. I've had amputees at 67 above knee, and I know above knee's harder. I have a lot of disagreements with above knee amputees, because when I put my achievements up, they're like, yeah, but you're below me. And it's like, right, okay, I'm not comparing amputations.
This is not a competition.
But you actually using that to say to me that you're trying to diminish what I do. You're kind of using the fact you're in above me and saying that to kind of back up the fact that you're not doing what you should be doing.
This isn't about my situation worse than your situation. This is about competing with yourself and nobody else. Yeah. And I think any of the chronic warriors that are watching this are going, I know for a fact, I get it. It's the ethos that Chronic Warriors is built on, and I think that's why our values align so much, and it's just so simple for us to.
If you sit there and compare how bad your kind of life is to everyone else's, you're not going to actually progress. You need to look at that. This is my life. Forget what I'm doing. Forget if I climb the mountains. Like you just said, my things are climbing the mountain. Like there could be someone in a wheelchair that's lost a leg or that sat on the couch, stand up and down 10 times. That could be your mountain. But you need to look at yourself. Don't look at what I'm doing. Don't compare. Don't make out that, yeah, but it's easy for you. It's not easy for me. It took me a long while, and my problems were my problems. It's like when people say to you, I'm not, you've had it worse. So if they might say to me, like, my problem's not as bad as yours, they are, because they affect you how they affect you. You know, you don't have to be an amputee, but you might have something going on in your life, and that affects you and your family.
Absolutely.
The way this affected me and my family. But I think when you're using that, kind of, yeah, but it's all right because you've got a knee. I understand it. It's hard.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, of course it is.
Very slippery
100%.
slope.
And I understand that it's hard, but I also know, and this is, I love it when they say it, because then I go on to my amp camps and I pull a 67-year-old woman up that's an above knee amputee that came on from Norway that's doing indoor rock climbing. So when they're saying this about being an above knee, I just put all these amputees that I've had out here that are above knee climbing mountains. That's in your head. And if you want to sit and use that as an excuse for you not to go, that's fine. You crack on and do that. But then don't come on and diminish someone else's achievements just because you are feeling a bit bad that you can't, or not that you can't, but you're refusing to even try, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I know that we'll be coming back out here. We've got 1,000,001 things planned for the future, and I'm super excited about all that. And we've only really touched the surface about you and what you do. So where can people follow and find all of your stuff?
So my ad camp, my adults camp's Camp Tenerife. That's all on Instagram and Facebook, and that's all. I've only ever used social media. We've got the website and everything else. But yeah, so it's Amp Camp Tenerife, all one word, and that's my adult ones. And if you want to follow the kids ones, that's Amp Camp Kids. Obviously, like I said, we've got the retreat side as well. So I mean this
is used for professional fighters.
So yeah, we've had the England Boxing Association have been out. I met Tyson Fury out here and stuff like this. So as well as I love working with people like myself. Obviously, that's my passion. But aside from that, this place for like any boxing clubs, PTs or all like that. It's a great space to come out. And again, and I know it's not to do with people with disabilities, but I'm watching people come out and do wellness retreats here or mental health retreats here. So it's all kind of ties in, whether it's disability related. Everyone's beneficial from coming here, whether it's a fitness camp or something else.
I've been working while I've been out here for a few bits and pieces, and I've just enjoyed being able to work out here.
It's peaceful.
It has been, I've been so creative and productive in the work that I've been doing whilst I've been here, and I think it really is adaptable for anyone. So please, guys, if you don't already, give them a follow. Find Retreat to Tenerife and Casa Kinsella as well, because there's different bits of information across all of those, so it's specific to what it is that service offers, but make sure you do, and like I said earlier, if you've got that 1% in the back of your mind saying, I wonder if this is for me, it is.
And if there is anyone from this, any amputees that, like, you know, that are struggling, on my inbox, and I've said this to you about, I can spend 12 hours a day on social media, because I want to, if anyone's struggling and they've got any questions, message me privately and I'll do my best to answer. And if it's something, you're checking the accounts, if it's something you want to do, get in touch with me and we'll just see what happens. I'll change your life.
And I don't doubt it. Ben Lovell, you are an absolute superstar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.